Hello, today we're going to be looking at solving multi-step inequalities, just two examples of solving multi-step inequalities. Alright, so to do that we're going to use the distributive property, we're going to combine like terms, and then we're going to solve the remaining two-step inequality. Just like we did when we solved multi-step equations, we distributed, combined the like terms, and then solved the resulting two-step equation. Okay, so I have 3 times the quantity x plus 5 minus 7 is less than or equal to 14. So like I said, my first step is going to be distributing when I need to. So I have 3 out front, and I need to distribute that to the x, and then distribute that to the 5 that is in the parentheses. Note I'm not distributing that to my negative 7, because that is not in parentheses, so that does not get the 3. Okay, so when I distribute, that's multiplication. So I'm going to do 3 times x plus 3 times 5. That's an equivalent expression, so I'm not changing anything. Then I want to change nothing else, so I just drop down the minus 7, drop down the less than or equal to, and drop down the 14. Okay, then 3 times x, that's just 3x. 3 times 5 is 15. Drop down minus 7, drop down 14. Okay, so step 1, complete, I distributed. Step 2, I'm going to combine my like terms only on like both of the sides of the inequality. So I don't combine 14 with 15, even though those are like terms, because they're separated by the inequality sign. We can only combine like terms on the same side of the inequality. So I have a 15 here. And well, then here I have minus 7. So what I should do, combining like terms, a good rule of thumb is to change subtraction into adding the opposite, right? So in this case, subtracting 7 is the same thing as adding negative 7. So then I can add 15 and negative 7. 15 plus negative 7 is 8. Okay, so that's what I'm getting when I combine those like terms. Then again, I drop down my 3x, drop down less than or equal to, and drop down 14. At this step, I have that remaining two-step inequality, and I need to go ahead and solve. So, like we've been doing, I'm going to rewrite 3x plus 8 is less than or equal to 14. And then I need to ask myself, okay, what's happening to x? And I need to undo that. So x is getting multiplied by 3, and then we add 8. So working the reverse order, first I need to subtract 8 to undo adding 8. So minus 8, minus 8. We do it to one side, we do it to the other. 8 minus 8 is 0. That goes away. That's my point. And on my left-hand side, I just get 3x, which drops down. And on the right-hand side, I have 14 minus 8, which is 6. And then lastly, just one more thing to do. Now I have a one-step inequality. I have 3 times x is less than or equal to 6. So I'm going to ask myself, okay, how do you undo multiplying by 3? I undo multiplying by 3 by dividing by 3. Of course, I need to do that to both sides of my inequality. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so I would get 1x. That's just going to cancel away. And I get x is greater than or equal to 2, which would be my final solution. So any value, any number, x, any number that's less than or equal to 2 is going to be my solution. And for graphing that, less than or equal to is going to be a close point pointing to the left, where numbers get smaller, where numbers are less than 2. So we're going to do one more example, but just following up on what I did. Distributed, combine the like terms, and then solve the resulting two-step inequality by undoing what was currently happening to my variable. Here we have our second example, basically as complicated as we're going to see. So we have negative 4 times the quantity 2x minus 1 plus 3x is greater than negative 16. So we're going to simplify, combine like terms, and then solve the resulting two-step inequality. Okay, so first step is distributing. Notice I have 2x minus 1, and And our rule of thumb is to change subtracting into adding the opposite whenever we're distributing, so we don't make any sign errors. So subtracting 1 is the same thing as adding -1. And then I'm going to go ahead and distribute. -4 times 2x plus -4 times -1. Okay, so that's distributing. These are equivalent. I'm just using the distributive property. And then I'm going to drop down plus 3x greater than -16. Alright, so let me figure out what that is. Actually do the multiplication now. -4 times 2x is -8x. -4 times -1 is a +4. Super important. Negative times negative is a positive. And then I drop down 3x. It's greater than -16. Okay, now I've taken care of my parentheses. I've distributed by multiplying. Let me go ahead and combine like terms. Again, only thinking about both, like the sides of the inequality separately. So on the left-hand side, I have a -8x and a +3x. So I'm going to combine those together. -8 plus 3 is -5, so I'm going to get -5x here plus 4 is greater than -16. By combining like terms. And now I have a two-step inequality that I want to go ahead and solve. And so I have -5 times x plus 4. So to work backwards, to reverse that and undo everything, I'm going to first have to subtract 4 from both sides because that's going to undo adding 4. So I'll rewrite what I currently have. And then I'm going to subtract 4 on the left and subtract 4 on the right. So -5x plus 4 minus 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. So this goes away. I can cross it off. And I get -5x is greater than -20. -16 minus 4 is -20. As a review, just like -6 minus 2 is -8, right? -20, -16 minus 4 is the same thing as -16 plus a -4. So we're getting more negative. And finally, I have -5 times x. So I want to undo multiplying by -5. In order to do that, I need to divide both sides by -5. When I divide both sides by -5 divided by -5 cancels away, and we get x. On the right-hand side, I have -20 divided by -5. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, so we're going to get a +4 here. And then I divided by a negative number. So we have to remember, what do we do when we divide by a negative number? We flip the sign. Little note there, right? Flip sign. Because we divided by a negative. And if we had multiplied by negative, the same would be true. So there we go. Our final solution is x is less than 4. Meaning that any number that's less than 4 is going to make this inequality true. And we can graph all possible values by putting -4 here, or +4, sorry. +4, we have an open circle, open point, because we have less than, and then we're going to the left. Again, because you have less than, all numbers that are less than 4 are to the left of 4. So we'd have 3 here, 5 there, we'd have 0, 3.5, 2.5, -10. All of those numbers are less than 4, so they're going to make my inequality true. Okay. So it's a lot of work. I'm not going to pretend it's not a lot of work, but I do think we have the skills to do all the steps. So distribute first, combine the like terms, and then solve the resulting two-step inequality.